Have you ever wanted to just know what to do? Like the rules of the game, so you felt you had a chance of winning in this game of life? Carol Davis can be your virtual navigator, as she has traveled around the world and been at the lowest of lows. From living in a beautiful home to being a full-time resident on a park bench to a life that is full and rich and giving and peaceful. Join Carol, a published author, teacher, and in-demand public speaker. Welcome to the Carol Davis Show.
Be whatever you want, we support you. But as you're growing up, we hear things. We hear things on the radio, the TV, we hear them from our peers, we hear them from society. It's all about sometimes you need to do this, you need to do that, and you should do this, and you should do that. And I think, especially men, I think men have a really hard time. I have a lot of compassion for men who act out because nobody ever told them how to be men, especially with the women's lib thing. Okay, I'm going to really irritate some women here, and I'm a woman, right, obviously, so I don't mean to do that. But the women's lib thing came about, and it was all about women wanting equal rights and women this, and so we really changed the rules of how men should treat us. And we never gave them a replacement activity or something. No, you know, okay, they're used to opening doors for women, and don't get out of the car till I open the door for you, and they're used to paying the bills, and men grew up in this idea that they have to take care of women. And now women are saying we can take care of ourselves. So men tried to adjust to this. So there's a lot of angry men out there, but they don't know why they're angry. They're angry because the rules change. The rules changed on them. They were just having trouble figuring out the other set of rules. Now they're all changed and nobody told them what to do. So I think there's, I feel bad for a lot of men who, even before the women's lib though, little boys, all they hear is, you're going to grow up and you're going to marry someone, a beautiful girl just like your mother, and you're going to get a job and you're going to have 2.5 kids and you're going to have a white picket fence. But we're not going to tell you how to do that. We're not going to tell you what any of that means. You just get to grow up and you're going to do that. What does that mean? So there's a lot of reasons for people being angry, but especially men in our society. They just think they have to grow up and take care of somebody. And then, like I just said, the women's lib thing comes along. Now what do? I spent my whole life being brainwashed about I have to take care of someone, and now I have to do this. And then if you're a man who doesn't want a wife, they prefer to have be with another man, now it's really confusing. So I'm not taking sides or on any issue. I'm just saying there's a lot of reasons in our society for men and women to be angry. But you know what? We don't want anybody else to know we're angry because we think we're the only one that doesn't know the rules. You know that in the boys' locker room, say, in high school or junior high school, now this can happen to girls too, but it happens to boys a lot. You know, the guy's in there and they're bragging about whatever, and some other guy wants to be just like them, and so now they're all lying to each other. So they're all lying to each other, and the lies get bigger and bigger and bigger, and each one of them thinks, I'm the only one that's not doing what all the other guys are doing. I'm not scoring with the girls, I'm not scoring with the guys, I'm not scoring, period. But everybody in the locker room is. So now you start hating yourself, and so you get angry, and so you lash out at the world. So I'm really going out on a limb here, but these are things nobody ever talks about. Ever. I don't hear these things talked about, sources of anger. But that's very, very real. I had a guy one time, I'm gonna really expose myself here, okay? On this issue, I was kind of was a victim in one way of the locker room rumors, but on the other hand, I really won. I was a winner. Because it's a situation I didn't know about till several years out of high school. So in high school, I had a lot of dates. And I just thought it was because I was cute and charming and a good date. I had a lot of dates every weekend. You know, I had 2 or 3 guys ask me out. I just thought, wow, am I the luckiest girl in this school or what? But, you know, they were not scoring with me. I have to tell you, I just hope this is not too blunt, but I was still a virgin when I got out of high school. But, you know, of course, that's high school. They all tried and nothing, but I had a lot of fun. And I went to a very large high school. When I was a junior, I went to the a prom with the student body president. When I was a senior, I went with the senior class president. I mean, I had really good fun in high school. So several years after high school, a friend from high school invited me to a party, so we went to a party. I think it was New Year's Eve, and everyone was drinking. I was drinking, of course. And, you know, so he tried to have his way with me, and he got nowhere. He started crying, and I said, "What's wrong? What happened?" He said, every guy in high school has scored with you. What's wrong with me?" So I started crying. I said, because I knew that wasn't true, and yet he believed with all his heart. See, that's the kind of damage that can happen, that can scar you for life. And this guy was devastated that he believed he was the only guy in that school that didn't score. What is wrong with me? So now he's becoming an angry person. He started throwing things because he thought he was just a loser. And when he calmed down, I had to tell him, no, that's not the truth. You know, somebody way back when just made that up. And then every other guy in the locker room had to outdo it. "Oh yeah, okay, I took her out too, blah, blah, blah." And guess what? Nobody scored, but I had a good time. And all those guys, I don't know how many of them, 20 of them, 25 of them, each of them thought they were losers. And each of them became an angry guy. What's wrong with me? So I don't know if that's too much information, but that's the kind of things that can happen in this world that make people angry and make people, because we don't communicate enough. Everyone just goes around thinking, "Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm the only one that doesn't know how to live life." Hey, none of us know. This whole thing is just a crapshoot, okay? We think we know, and we hear rumors, and worst thing we do is watch our parents, and they become our role models, and maybe that's not such a good role model, so we think that's how you do it. It can be anything. I change the subject just a little to show you how our parents imprint us. In my family, we were not allowed to eat bacon or anything with our fingers, even bacon. Everything had to be eaten with a knife and a fork or a spoon. So that's just one little rule we had. So when you're little, you think the whole world is just like your mom and dad. And then you go out into your neighborhood and you see other people doing in their houses, and they're doing it differently. Now you have choices then. You can even say, "Oh, I get it." The healthy kid would say, "Okay, there's lots of ways of doing things." "Oh no, you can be like me, something's wrong with me." Or "They're all wrong and my family's right," or "My family's wrong and they're right." So that's when it starts. So I can remember going to my friend's house, and they're eating bacon with their fingers, like I now know most of the world does. And I was like, you would have thought they were aliens from space. I went home mortified. Oh my God, those people eat bacon with their fingers. I was afraid, and those things happen. It's just, there's so many things that can make us angry. So you see, I don't know which thing made me angry, or it was a combination of things. Or that poor guy that took me out a few years out of high school and got that bad information, and then the good information, actually, that he was just fine. But the damage was already done for him, because that had bothered him how many years, and how many guys at that high school went out with me and thought they were defective. So there's so much in our society that contributes to us being angry people. Then there's just anger, that we get angry if something doesn't go our way, or something doesn't work, like, you know, we're just like, darn it, that kind of angry. Or you just simply miss a phone call. The phone rings and you don't get there in time. Oh, darn it. So that's just a little kind of anger that you just kind of express in the moment, but then it goes away. So getting angry is normal, I think. That's a human emotion. It's just as normal or common or average as love, sadness, joy. Anger is just a very real emotion. What separates us is how we express our anger. So that's the part of learning to become a productive, healthy person, is about learning to express our anger. And that's what I'm hoping these podcasts are doing. Is, you know, I try to share how I became not an angry person anymore, and how I deal with anger in a whole different way than I used to, and how I have accepted the idea that how I feel has to do with me. that what I'm looking at is what I'm looking through. That everything I perceive, everything I hear, everything I see in the world is first filtered through my baggage check. Everything. So that's what had to change. I had to go inside because all the same stuff is happening. All the same stuff is happening in my life today that made me angry when I was a little kid, that made me angry when I was in high school, that made me angry when I was on a park bench. All that stuff is still happening. But most of it doesn't make me angry anymore, and I am many years away from being an angry person. So in the next episode, we're going to talk exactly that, some of those steps, how to change being an angry person. We're also in future episodes, maybe the next one, going to talk about how to deal with angry people in the workplace or angry people in our families, and that's a kind of another segment, okay? So that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks so much for being here.
Are you ready to get off the bench and into the game of life? If so, join Carol weekly right here at The Carol Davis Show.